today's video. I hope you had a great holiday weekend. Today we're talking about 5 practical upgrades, mostly geared towards concealed carry that you guys can do to your Glock platform, targeting the 19, but all of these upgrades could carry over to other models such as the 17, the 34, even the slimline series like the 43X and 48. The Glock platform is solid, it's well built, but it's kind of like the adult Legos for adults who want to play with Legos, meaning that you start with kind of a block of clay. And from that block of clay, you can mold it, you can shape it, you can customize it to however you want it to be. But if you choose not to mold that clay, it is going to work well for you. And the Glock is just an extraordinarily reliable platform out of the box even. These upgrades just make it a better platform and a more pleasant platform to shoot, carry, and defend your home with overall. So this is kind of the order in which I have gone about prioritizing these upgrades, and at the core of it, all of these upgrades are not aesthetic only, they are driven by practicality and functionality, making this gun better to shoot, making me more confident with the platform. And some of the upgrades just look good too, so there is that benefit. The first upgrade, I would say iron sights. Now getting better sights is kind of a must with the Glock platform, as I'm sure you've probably heard numerous times before, but what I've decided to go with are the Magwell Tritium sights. It's got an orange front dot and a blacked out rear. That's perfect for me, and before I had this red dot on, they worked great. Now the dot kind of blocks out the sights, so I might end up going with suppressor height sights so that I can co-witness and actually use the sights if my dot goes down. Because at this point, I'll just be point shooting. I do like night sights very much. I think they are very effective. And I like the orange dot because it is not quite red, so it's not getting in the way of my red dot, but it's not green. I know green is allegedly the most easiest color for the human eye to see, but for me, I feel like I can just pick up the orange a little bit quicker than I can the green. The Magwells will run you about 65 to 70 bucks depending on where and when you get them. Now some of these categories I am cheating a little bit because I'm wedging kind of 2 into 1 as an upgrade, but you're just gonna have to bear with. Number 2, the second upgrade that I would recommend. This one is very affordable. This one is probably the most involved when it comes to you doing the actual modification. Although you can send off your gun to someone professional to do this for you, is a stipple job and grip reduction. Now, the stipple job is, I've done a video on it, you guys can watch that. I recommend stippling the grip because the Glock texture leaves something to be desired. And I've just noticed that it's easier to keep the gun, retain it in my hand a little bit better if I go ahead and add some texture myself. For that, you'll need a Dremel tool and you'll need a wood burning pen or a soldering iron to do the actual texture. And with the grip reduction, or just doing some Dremel work to your gun, the points that I would recommend taking the Dremel to before the stipple job are the back hump of the grip, just to kind of reduce that severe Glock angle. So I just do a few Dremel strikes, run it on. You go all along this portion right here, and also the Glock thumb ledges. Sorry, I'm flicking you off. Glock thumb ledges right here, I recommend taking the Dremel, spending some time there just to flatten it completely. As you can kind of see, they don't stick out at all from here. So I completely eliminated the Glock thumb spots. Although you can kind of see the indent here, the ledge doesn't actually buff out anymore. Also, I would recommend doing kind of a half accelerator cut. Mine are incredibly ugly. I did a terrible job, but they do exactly what I need them to. So that's where you recess a diagonal line where thumbs, as you can see right there, where thumbs and index finger, when you're doing trigger control or trigger discipline, will rest. And that way you can kind of have something to kind of push your thumb into. So you just essentially take the Dremel and just cut away at the entire portion of that piece. And you want to remove your slide first, obviously, otherwise you'll completely destroy your slide. The last place is under the trigger guard right here for a higher grip purchase. And you can do a single undercut, or you can do a double undercut where you take the Dremel and do some stuff here. I just did single, and you just kind of run it like this, going up and down, and that's basically it. So as you can see, it's pretty simple to do yourself. If you want it to look perfect and pristine, I would recommend sending it off. But if you want kind of a more DIY look to it, and you prioritize function over fashion, then you are probably perfectly capable of doing it yourself. For me, I want the functionality of these modifications while doing it at a as low of a cost as possible, because then I can focus things on, focus finances and resources on other parts of the build. Now for the third upgrade piece that I would recommend is to do the Terran Tactical suite of Magwell and base pad. If you've watched Amazon Prime's Terminalist series, you will recognize these two upgrades wedged into one category. So this is the Terran Tactical Carry Magwell. It's a very low profile Magwell that will not actually work with your Glock mags unless you modify the Glock mags, but it works great with Magpul Glock mags, as well as if you use the Terran Tactical +2 or +3, extended base pad for the Glock platform. And so that looks pretty fantastic. Allows you to carry 18+1 as opposed to 15+1, brings the overall grip length to about a 17 length if you're running a 19, and I'd recommend it. It's great. I use these mags for winter carry, and in the summer I'll just probably end up throwing this mag in my pocket as the backup mag and run the PMag because the 15 round PMag fits excellently without much sticking out at the bottom. But if you have to strip the mag because you have a double feed, it will provide you just enough material to grab. And I'll show you with the Glock mag. So this is just a stock Glock mag, and it unfortunately does not go in. So you probably would have to strike away some of the material along the base pad for it to work. But I definitely recommend this Magwell. It's a gorgeous Magwell, very high quality, and it's around $100 or so. I can't exactly remember, but you're getting what you pay for with this one. This might actually be the cheapest upgrade, and this is the AIM Surplus steel guide rod assembly with either a 15-pound spring or just a stock 17-pound spring, and it's $10 on AIM Surplus's website. And I've had no issues with it, and it is better quality than the stock Glock polymer guide rod. That one actually got marred up, and I kind of messed up that one just because it's plastic and it was pushing on things that it shouldn't have been pushing on. So I just had to replace it, and this one has been working great. It weighs about 3 times as much as the polymer guide rod, so in theory, you'll be getting a little bit more front-heavy attributes, and that should reduce felt recoil, felt muzzle flip by approximately 0.05%. So ultimately, you're getting a more durable guide rod for $10, and it's also going to give you some very slightly tangible benefits in the shooting department. The next upgrade I would prioritize is the Timney Alpha trigger, and this one is kind of controversial in the carry world because essentially what it does is it fundamentally changes how the trigger works in the Glock. It pre-cocks your striker, meaning that it's ready to go on a moment's notice, as opposed to pulling the trigger of the stock Glock brings the striker back so that it can launch forward. It basically just eliminates one of the steps, which contributes to a lot of trigger mush in the initial take-up of the trigger. And so the Alpha is a fantastic trigger. It gets you about 3.5 pound pull without having to mess around with striker springs and reduce power striker springs, which can introduce things like light strikes and other malfunctions like that. So this has been a very practical upgrade for me. It's improved my shooting, it's improved my confidence with the platform, and it's improved my enjoyment of shooting the Glock. Now the reason why this is kind of a controversial upgrade is because of that pre-cocked striker. Some people think that if they drop the gun, it's not drop safe, or that anything can cause that striker just to go forward and then boom, you got an ND on your. Now I'm personally not worried about that problem. I've done a little bit of research, and there is one more safety that is basically preventing all of that from happening. I believe it's the sear safety? It's either the striker or the sear safety, but there's one more safety mechanism that is preventing your striker from going home if you drop it. I have accidentally pressure tested this concept, and I did drop my Glock in the bathroom, taking it, unholstering it. I dropped it onto hard stone floor from about waist height. And so yeah, I dropped this straight onto stone floor with the Alpha trigger, with a round in the chamber, and nothing happened. So I'm not too concerned about the drop safety levels regarding the Alpha trigger. Now, whether or not you decide to run it in your carry gun, that's up to you. But for me, I think the juice is worth the squeeze. And now on to our last practical upgrade for the Glock system is to do a red dot optic on top. And that's the last one because it's really not essential. It provides tangible benefits to your shooting only if you train with it, only if you use it, and only if you kind of change the way you view the sight picture fundamental. Not going to cover those things today in this video, but I'd recommend the Holosun 509T, and to go along with that, either getting an optic cut on your stock slide or just having to get a different slide. And so I wedge those two, slide/optic cut and the red dot together because they all function together. You can't have one without the other. You can't have the dot without the cut. So that's why they're together. Personally, I prefer going the upgraded slide route because you don't have to lose your stock slide to a milling company for 4 to 10 weeks, waiting on lead times for them to cut your slide. You can just buy a new slide, it comes in the mail, and then boom, you're ready to go. I'm not quite sure if I would recommend this Zafiri precision slide that I have on here. It is cheap, it's affordable, but I don't know about the whole reliability thing because the specs that it was made to, there were some issues with it. For the first like 200 rounds that I was using this, I actually sold this to a buddy of mine and then kind of took it back because of the reliability issues he was having, and I felt bad for having sold it to him. And it was having failure to feeds, double feeds, and stovepipe issues for the first 200 rounds. Now, for some reason, it's been working just fine. Maybe some of the tolerances weren't cut to spec, and breaking it in, having the violence of recoil and the explosion of the round of the barrel has kind of loosened things up to where it's functioning now, but it's functioning now, and I don't know if I'd recommend it though. The 509T, however, I highly would recommend. The 509T is one of the most affordable, fully enclosed micro red dot optics that you can get on the market. The EPS and EPS carry, I believe, are going to be a little bit less money, depending on which model you get, but those you cannot find in stock. So currently, this is my go-to enclosed red dot optic. And this is my preferred carry gun. I will choose to carry this over my P365 setup, and I choose it over my Springfield Prodigy just because it's a lighter weight gun. I have a gun on it, and I know that it is a proven platform, gun reliability strings, and so I'm confident that the gun's going to go off when I want it to go off. Whereas the Prodigy, I'm not quite 100% sure on that one yet because I gotta vet it more. I gotta put it through more rounds and do more testing with it. So yeah, there's that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope these upgrades are practical for you. Let me know if you have any questions or what your experience is with Glock upgrades, if you've tried some of these or if you have some of your own that you would recommend. And thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later.